So let's talk about something people have been quietly noticing, but not everyone is saying out loud. The connection between Bryan Okwara and Sonia Uche is starting to look less like coincidence and more like a pattern. Because at first, it was just one movie. Nothing serious, just another Nollywood pairing. But then it became two. Then three. Then suddenly, you can't scroll YouTube without seeing both of them in the same thumbnail, same storyline, same emotional tension. And that's where people started asking questions. Not loud questions at first, just small observations like, why them again? Are there no other actors? Why is their chemistry always this intense? Because let's be honest, Nollywood pairs actors all the time. That's normal. But not like this. This feels intentional. And once you start paying attention, you begin to notice something deeper. Bryan Okwara doesn't just act alongside Sonia Uche. He adjusts around her. Watch closely. His tone softens. His expressions become more controlled. Even his body language changes, less rigid, more emotionally open. That's not something you fake easily. And Sonia Uche. She doesn't just respond to his acting, she matches his energy almost too perfectly. Like two people who already understand each other beyond the script. Now here, where it gets interesting. In most Nollywood productions, actors meet on set, rehearse briefly, and deliver. But with these two, there's a level of emotional timing that suggests something else. They pause at the same moments. They react before the other finishes speaking. Their eye contact lingers just a second longer than expected. And fans have noticed. Not in a dramatic way, but in that subtle, something feels different here kind of way. Because chemistry can be acted. But consistency, that's harder to fake. And that's exactly what Bryan Okwara and Sonia Uche have. Consistency. Different movies. Different roles. Same intensity. Now let's talk about the type of roles they keep getting cast in. It's rarely casual. It's always emotional. Always complicated. Always romantic with tension. You'll see them as lovers who can't be together. Or exes with unresolved feelings. Or strangers forced into emotional situations that slowly turn into something deeper. And every single time, it feels believable. Too believable. Because viewers don't just watch them, they get pulled into the story. And that's where the line starts to blur. Is it just good acting? Or is there something underneath it? Now, before jumping to conclusions, let's look at Bryan Okwara as an individual. He's not new to the industry. He's experienced. He understands how to control presence on screen. So when someone like him consistently delivers this level of emotional performance with one particular co-star, it's not random. It's a choice. And Sonia Uche. She brings a kind of emotional vulnerability that makes scenes feel real. Not exaggerated. Not forced. Just natural. And when you combine that with Bryan's controlled intensity, you get something that feels authentic. That's the word people are struggling to say. Authentic. Now here's the part that really gets people thinking. Outside the movies, there's almost no drama. No public confirmation. No obvious relationship. No headlines. Just silence. And sometimes, silence creates more curiosity than noise. Because in today's world, where everything is exposed, when two people keep things low-key, it makes people look closer. Fans begin to connect dots. They revisit scenes. They analyze interviews. They compare performances. And slowly, a narrative starts forming. Not based on facts, but based on patterns. And patterns are powerful. Now imagine this from a filmmaker's perspective. You have two actors who consistently deliver emotional, believable performances together. Their movies perform well. Fans react. Engagement increases. What do? You keep pairing them, not because of rumors, but because it works. And that might be exactly what we're seeing here. But here's the twist. Even if it started as a professional decision, that doesn't mean it stays that way. Because spending time together on multiple sets, playing emotionally connected roles repeatedly, building that kind of on-screen bond, it can affect real-life dynamics. Not always romantically, but definitely personally. There's a level of comfort that builds over time. And that comfort, it shows in the way they speak, in the way they react, in the way scenes flow without effort. Now let's talk about the audience reaction, because that's where things really explode. Fans don't just watch Bryan Okwara and Sonia Uche. They invest in them. You'll see comments like, "They should just date already. This chemistry is not normal. They look too real together." And once that narrative starts spreading, it takes on a life of its own. Every new movie becomes evidence. Every scene becomes a clue. Even the smallest interaction gets analyzed. That's the power of perception. And whether it's true or not, it keeps people watching. Now here's something most people don't realize. In Nollywood, repeat pairings often signal something strategic. Not necessarily personal, but intentional. Because the industry thrives on what works. And right now, Bryan Okwara and Sonia Uche work. They bring views. They create discussions. They keep audiences engaged. And in a space where attention is everything, that's valuable. Very valuable. But still, there's that lingering question. That subtle feeling that something about their connection goes beyond just scripts and cameras. Not necessarily a relationship, but definitely a connection. Because you don't